there, we're talking today about time management strategies for both remote and online students. So let me share some of the information that I have shared with students before. One thing you should do is make sure that when you're trying to manage your time, there are no animals present. This is Keanu, he needs to go. So as I said, today we're talking about time management. So a couple of things as a student that I should be doing is making sure to check my email daily. So your Canvas email is probably going to be the email that your faculty are going to use most often. But you also want to check your ACES email just to make sure that there's nothing in there that doesn't need your attention. So one of the things that research has shown for students is that using a schedule book that you can typically get at Walgreens or Walmart for a couple of dollars, or you can print one off online, can be really beneficial. A lot of times people need that paper. They want to hold on to something. They want to be able to flip through it and look through the rest of their week to see what's going on. So sometimes just having a reminder set on your phone isn't sufficient. So using a schedule book can be beneficial because, as I said, you can look ahead and see what sorts of things are coming up. So you want to, even if you're in an online class, you want to schedule your work as if you're in a face-to-face class. So pick times during the week that you will set aside and say to yourself, these are when I will be working. So if your class, let's say that you were in a face-to-face class or a remote class and it got canceled and your class got moved to online, then what you want to do is you can say to yourself, okay, my class is supposed to be 11 to 12:15 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So now I'm going to block off 11 to 12:15 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and just focus on that classwork. So you want to schedule your work as if you were in a face-to-face class. So choose time periods where you can block off those time periods and sit down with very few or little distractions, and you can actually get your reading done. You can actually get your classwork done. You can look ahead and see what's coming up. You can start working on future assignments, things like that. And one thing that students have found very useful is to literally schedule your entire week with blocks of time blocked off. And one of those blocks, at least daily, you want to set aside time for yourself to relax. Maybe do a hobby, spend, a half an hour doing what you enjoy, something that relaxes you. So if you're scheduling your time, you want to make sure that you schedule time for yourself as well. Because the research has shown that if we overschedule ourselves with all sorts of work stuff, it's almost as if we have nothing to look forward to in terms of relaxation. Okay, so make sure that if you are building that weekly schedule, which you can find lots of templates for doing that online, if you are doing that, make sure that you are building in time for yourself. Let's talk about larger assignments, even a weekly assignment, such as if you're in an online class, a discussion board. So you want to break an assignment down into smaller pieces. So for an example, if we're talking about an online classes discussion board, the first piece of that would be to review the assignment and to view it, look over it, see what's expected of you. The next step would then be to complete the readings relating to it. The next step would be to pre-write or maybe make an outline of your assignment. The next step would then be to start writing the assignment. So as you can see, I can literally take even a 300-word assignment and break it down into smaller bits. And I can write those down in a checklist. And then I can start working at the top and I can say, okay, the first thing I need to do is I need to actually review the assignment and look at it. So we want to break down our larger assignments into smaller tasks that can be done in shorter periods of time. And then think to yourself, okay, I have 15 minutes right now. What can I do in this list that takes me 15 minutes? Because many times what will end up happening is students will say, well, that part's going to take me longer than I have right now, so I'm just going to put it off. I'm just going to put it off. I'm just going to put it off. and then we end up putting it off until the last minute or end up not submitting it at all. And then we don't want to do that. Okay. So we also want to break our reading for the week down into daily chunks. So in all of my classes, you have assigned readings every single week. If you look in the syllabus, it will tell you what chapter or what pages you should be reading in the designated textbooks. So you want to look at that and break that down by day and say, okay, I have how many days to do this? So how many pages do I need to read per day? And work that into your schedule. Okay, so again, we're breaking down a larger assignment into smaller chunks that we feel like we can accomplish. It's like I've told my fifth grader before, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay, so and many times a lot of students will tell me, like, I just don't feel like doing anything else. Like starting, I have no motivation. Here's what the research tells us: do something. Start something, because many times once you start doing it, you gather some motivation, some momentum to continue. Okay, so look at your list of what needs to be done, and you can make these lists for all of your classes, and then you can say, okay, I have an assignment in history that should take me about 20 to 30 minutes. I have 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm going to start working on that. So rather than say to yourself, like, I don't feel like doing anything, I'm not doing anything, then look at your list and figure out something that can be done so that you can feel productive and so you can start working through that list. And as I said, once you start, many times you feel kind of motivated or compelled to continue, especially if you feel like you're accomplishing things. Okay, so these have been our time management strategies. I hope that they helped you. If you have other ones that you want to add, feel free to add those in the comments.